Many animals in nature have stingers to defend themselves, and some of those animals, like the cow killer, have venom so strong that their stings cause some of the most immense pain ever.
Oh my gosh, guys, this is super bad.
So I went out and got 5 levels of insect stings that get progressively more painful, and I got my friend named Sai to take on this sting challenge.
I'm here to get stung by a couple insects, yeah?
Sai pulled it out so we could get our first look at it.
Sai, what do you think of this thing?
It's so small for being something so painful.
Yeah, and they say this thing's sting is so strong that it's able to kill cows.
Is that real?
Well, no, these things have actually never actually harmed someone. They're just extremely painful, so there's nothing for you to worry about.
That's good then.
Yeah.
So I went and picked this thing up with some tweezers, and mine is a bit small, so it's hard to see, but if you look very closely, you can actually see the stinger here retracting in and out. Cow killers have the longest stingers in the world, so they can inject their venom super deep into the victim.
All right, Sai, we're just gonna jump straight into this. I got it here, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna put this on your arm right now.
Okay, I'm really scared. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna really hurt. All right, $10,000. That's a lot of TerraGreen plushies. Oh, ow!
Oh, did it sting you?
Oh, yep, that's like deep.
Oh, it stung you.
Yup, it literally happened so fast, I didn't even realize he got stung. But based off of his reaction, he definitely did. Yeah, he was feeling it.
It burns. It feels like it's down there in the middle of my arm.
That thing just injected its stinger down deep into your arm and put that venom up in there.
Does my skin it looks red?
Yeah, that thing, it's just gonna get a big red spot there over time.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, this pain can sometimes last for up to days, but to make sure Sai didn't have to endure that, I put some of this special stuff on his arm that should help get rid of the sting as much as possible.
Sai, America's largest scorpion species.
Okay, that's probably gonna be a lot worse than the crab.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, you know what, for $2,500, I think we can tank it.
Let's do it.
But you could tell Sai was starting to get a lot more skeptical, and this time he wanted to spend a bit of time to research online to figure out if it was actually safe to get stung by a desert hairy scorpion. Now these guys got pretty painful venom, but of course everything I've chosen in this video is completely safe for Sai to get stung by. It's just a bit painful, of course.
So Sai, what do you think? Is this something you're down to get stung by after researching on Google?
Yeah, I mean, based off what Google said, seems pretty safe, but it's definitely gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna hurt, but for $2,500, I mean, what do you expect? Let's do this. Yeah, can you get your finger out? Yep, and can you get it inside?
So yeah, at first Sai wasn't really sure of how to get stung, so he kind of just started to tap the scorpion's claws and stuff to see if he could get it mad. But you see, scorpions are actually nocturnal, so I knew it was pretty unlikely that this dude was just gonna randomly sting Sai since we were recording during the day. And after like a minute or two of Sai very fearfully putting his finger around and even on the scorpion, my theory was proved right because the scorpion was actually being very chill and not even stinging him once. You see, when people like Coyote Peterson did their scorpion sting tests, they actually grabbed the stinger of the scorpion with tweezers. So I figured I should do the same thing here to ensure this test went very smoothly.
All right, Sai, 3, 2, 1.
Ow!
Oh, did it sting you?
Yep.
Oh shoot, what does it feel like?
Oh, it's not that bad, but it's sharp. It's sharp.
Nah, you just got stung by a scorpion and you're saying it's not that bad.
I felt it go into my skin.
Shoot, that must have been painful.
Yep, apparently the pain immediately wasn't so bad. But he did tell me as the minutes went on, he could feel the venom sort of spreading around the area where he got stung. But in this round. And here it is, a rainbow land crab.
All right, so we got the crab out the container, as you can see, and what are you thinking of it? First impressions.
It's very colorful, and the claw on the left there is kind of big, but
Yep, crabs actually have one big claw to use for extra crushing power, so hopefully Sai gets pinched by that. But actually, something I noticed about this crab was that it was actually injured. You see, normally crabs are supposed to have 4 legs on both sides of their bodies, but this dude only has 2 legs on this side of his body. I'm not sure how he lost 2 of his legs, but because of this, I wanted to make sure I built this guy a nice little enclosure. That way he'd have a place to rest after the pinch test. But yeah, don't worry, this didn't take long because we just immediately started to spam place a bunch of rocks all along the side of the enclosure. Now this may look kinda like trash, but I'm actually trying to recreate a rocky coastal environment that these crabs are used to in the wild.
All right, could you help me outside? Could you pour the water in?
yeah, I got you.
Let's get this crab a nice home. Oh yeah, yep, get that water in. Yep, you're pretty good at
He's
this.
swimming forever.
After we got the water in, I started to scatter around some of these random decorations, and obviously I planted some plants in the water. I put some final technology in, like a filter and a water heater, so we could have this build finished. Anyways, yeah, we quickly introduced this crab into the enclosure, and it seemed like he liked it. And he immediately found some nice little places to hide at. But obviously, Sai has a $1,000 to win. Let's do this test.
All right, Sai, for $1,000, you can go ahead and take the crab out of the container and yeah, you can just get pinched. Do it however you want, just take it out.
Let's see how it goes.
All right, you're just gonna let it crawl out. Let's see this.
So yeah, immediately the crab ran straight up to Sai's finger, and it looked like he meant business. But Sai actually thought the best way to do this test would be to pick up the crab. So yeah, that's what he did.
All right, so you got a hold of it. That's a pretty smart move, but all right, his pinchers are ready.
All right, let's do it.
Go ahead.
So Sai started to put his finger up to the claw of the crab, and the crab started to give the most vicious, brutal pinch of all time, as you can see. I'm just kidding. It was barely pinching.
What are you feeling?
Not much. I mean, he's kind of just sleeping, it seems like.
Bro, what is this crab doing? You're holding him in his hand, like, and he's just grabbing on.
We're best friends. We're holding hands. I mean, this guy's my friend. Can I keep him?
Yeah, actually, it was kind of funny how friendly this crab was. I mean, it genuinely just looks like the crab is hugging Sai's arm here. It's actually kind of cute.
All right, Sai, would you say that was easy or hard?
I think that was the easiest thing I've ever done.
Well, I didn't tell you about the second part of the challenge where you gotta let that crab actually pinch your cheek on your face.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, he really thought the crab was so weak that he was genuinely smiling and happy to do this.
It's licking me.
It's licking you.
I feel like it is. Kind of wet.
Yeah, it is a crab.
That's a fair point.
But yeah, if you couldn't already assume, the crab also didn't really do any real damage here. He just kind of gave it the slightest little pinch ever.
Well, Sai, that might have been the freest $1,000 of your entire life.
Possibly.
But remember, the only reason I wanted Sai to get pinched by a crab, this is a yellow jacket, and they're known for their insanely sharp sting. So this should be pretty interesting.
All right, Sai, let's waste no time. You got the wasp there. He looks pretty angry. For $500, get your arm out and put that cup on your arm.
Alrighty.
Yup, so we went and put the cup on his arm at the place where he was gonna get stung.
All right, Sai, I'm gonna start pulling it out. Oh, wow, this thing is getting mad. All right, I'm just gonna pull the paper towel out and let's see if it stings. It's really mad, Sai.
It's getting mad.
Pause. By the way, I gotta mention this, but do not try this at home, obviously. As a YouTuber, I've taken tons of safety precautions behind the scenes to make sure this is a safe test. And similar to why Coyote Peterson gets stung by all those crazy bugs, our goal today is to figure out which bug actually has the craziest sting and make an entertaining video. Anyways, let's get back to the wasp. Yep, this dude was furious trying to escape, but wasn't immediately stinging, surprisingly. I think because the wasp didn't even know that there was an arm under him. He might have just thought that this was floor under him.
Let me tap the side of the glass. Maybe we can get him mad. Sting him. $500, Mr. Wasp.
It's literally on my skin, bro. Just stick it in already.
And thankfully, Sai's wish came true immediately after he said that, because this happened.
Okay.
Wait, you actually just got stung, Sai?
Yep. It definitely hurts more than I remember.
How much is it hurting, like out of 10, you would say?
A 6 or 7 out of 10.
Let's come on, follow me.
So I took him down a trail by my house till we found a harvester ant nest. Despite these guys being pretty small, they actually have pretty painful stings. But yeah, it's pretty much nothing compared to the stings later in this video.
For $100, put your hand on the ant nest in 3, 2, 1.
Now, Sai has to keep his hand here for 45 seconds to win. But unfortunately, it wasn't looking good for him because immediately workers started to swarm onto his hand.
It's super tickly. I haven't gotten bitten yet.
No stings or anything?
Not yet.
You're straight up on their nest and they're not even defending it. These ants suck.
But oh boy, did things quickly start escalating, because out of nowhere, like 15 more ants started swarming onto his hand to investigate what it was. Still not stinging it though.
Do you feel anything?
It's just super tickly. I don't know if I haven't felt anything sharp just yet.
And I was thinking he wasn't gonna get stung at all as the timer started to run out. 3, 2, 1, and...
Oh my God, ow. Oh.
Yeah, so apparently Sai literally got stung at the very last second, but by just one ant, thankfully.
Oh, that's sharp. That feels really sharp. It's like a tiny little needle. That feels really sharp.
We've all seen piranhas in movies depicted as these crazy, evil fish that will eat anything they lay their eyes on. But despite how deadly they're made out to be, for some reason, you can legally buy them to keep as a pet. So I'm gonna buy 6 piranhas, build them a home, and test to see if they're actually as vicious as the movies made them out to be. Meaning, yes, I will be putting my hand inside of their tank. What could go wrong? Let's just buy this thing. And so literally the next day, the delivery van dropped off the package. I cut open the tape on the box that had the piranhas inside. Oh shoot, bro. There is literally piranhas right under my hand. Let me take this bag out. And oh, I cannot believe I'm gonna be keeping these as pets. What the heck? Thankfully, every single piranha had survived the shipping, so I put all 6 of them into the tank. But when I put them in, I realized they were barely moving and definitely not acting like normal vicious piranhas. And look, I can literally drop a cricket into the water, and usually they would go crazy immediately eating that up. But check it out, no reaction at all. You see, the reason they're not moving is because they need a way bigger tank with all the right stuff inside. So I got out a new tank and filled it with 100 pounds of sand. We gotta do this because of course the first step is creating the floor and decorations. To continue this process, I started to use these sort of thin sticks and use a hot glue gun to hang them from the top of the enclosure. You see, these piranhas that I bought are red-bellied piranhas, which are supposedly the most vicious species, and they live in the Amazon River where there's all these roots and stuff hanging in the water. So that's what I'm trying to recreate in here with this. Anyways, next up, it was time to use even more wood. You see, this time I want to stack up some thicker wood to make it look like a massive tree trunk is growing from out of the water. So I actually took the wood out and used some water-safe spray foam to connect all the pieces together with some branches coming off of them. And then once all the spray foam and stuff on it has dried, we just plop it in there like that. And boom, there we go. Check it out. You can even see the roots and stuff. It's pretty cool. It looks like a tree, but there's still a bit more decorations we have to put inside of here. First of all, you guessed it, just some more wood randomly scattered around, but then some rocks because pretty much every Amazon riverbed has them. And finally, some pebbles like this, which I dropped around the enclosure, and some even tinier little pebbles, which I also dropped around the enclosure, which makes the sand across the whole thing look a little more realistic. Well, I'd say this is a pretty good start to the base of the tank, but now it's time for the fun part. Let's go get some aquatic plants for this. Okay, I'm at Petco, and I'm not gonna lie, the aquatic plant section is looking a little lousy today. Pretty much all these plants are like dead. Bro, no way I'm paying $10 for a dead stick with a little leaf. But let's buy all the ones here that are alive like this. So I picked out all the good plants and even found this little cool vine one, which of course I had to get to. So I drove home and got all the plants out. Oh man, this is already the most plants I've gotten for a video, and that's not even including this big bag of leftover plants Petco had. Anyways, I went and put each of the plants in the sand across the tank and filled it up with a bit of water. That way the roots of the plants could stay nice and moist while we continued building. Oh, and I almost forgot the most important part, this vine thing. Let's just put this across the branches like that, and oh yeah, check it out. It looks like a vine. Well, next up, as you can see, I've left this little area here empty. That's because I want to build a graveyard here with a ton of skulls and stuff because apparently piranhas are deadly. So I drove out to buy some. Okay, I'm at PetSmart first, and I found this skull decoration, so I'm gonna get that. Ooh, and they got a tiny little animal skull. I'm definitely gonna get that too. So I bought those and a couple more decorations with skeletons on them. Then after getting home, I put some of the larger skulls around in the sand. I even replaced some of the rocks in the back with them so this place would look extra spooky. Then with these tiny little skull beads, I'm gonna go and plant them around in the sand, just like that. Then I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of sand on top so it looks like they've been buried. And there we go, check the graveyard out. It actually looks pretty good. Bunch of skulls on the floor, all those other big skulls. Yeah, I like it. And now finally, to finish this tank, we gotta do the DIY technologies. And for the first one, I started to set up across the whole back of the tank. You see, right now, this stuff does nothing. But once I fill up the entire tank with some cycled water, which took a long time because of how big it was, check out what it can do. All right, now if I go and plug in these pumps, as you can see, it starts to make bubbles at the back of the enclosure. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But basically this little air pump just blows air into this tube, which goes into there. But what I could actually do is unattach that and just blow into this myself to make bubbles. That's cool. Anyways, the last technology is this little fish. I'm just kidding. I've actually already shown this in a video before. So what I've got is the upgraded version. Yeah, this one's way bigger and way cooler. Which, as you can see, if I just go and put it in the water like this, it starts to swim around like a normal fish. And yeah, I just think it'd be funny if I maybe tested the piranhas to see if they try to eat it or something. So I sucked the liquid up into the syringe thing and brought it over to the tank. Okay, this might seem kind of complex, but it's actually genius. You see, I can basically squirt some of this around in the water and it just spreads the scent around. around. And what I'm gonna do is attach it to the side of the enclosure, and whenever I wanna get the piranhas mad and in hunting mode, I just squirt a little bit of this out the end and it'll make them go absolutely crazy. So I attached that to the side of the tank with some glue, and then it was done. And now, anyways, this tank is now complete. And speaking of the piranhas, it's time to get them inside. Okay, I'm gonna try my best to not get bit here. Oh, no. So I grabbed the temporary tank they were in and brought it over to their new home so I could scoop them out. Okay, they definitely look more aggressive than the first time I did this, but I'm just gonna carefully scoop one guy out just like that. Oh shoot, he's mad, but I'm just gonna put him into the new tank, and there you go. Be free, my friend. New home. So I did that same process with the other 5, and there we go. The piranhas were in their new home. And as you could guess, immediately they packed up like piranhas do and looked as though they were already on the hunt for food once again. Well, these piranhas look pretty hungry, I'm not gonna lie, or maybe piranhas are just always hungry. So now I'm gonna feed them. Now if you remember at the start, the piranhas wanted nothing to do with the crickets, but let's see how they'll react now that they're in this new tank. So I dropped in just one, and because it was just floating there, I grabbed it with tweezers to show the piranhas. Instantly, you could see they picked up the memo that this was alive, and they sort of started to nibble it like the mealworms. But not even a single piranha actually took a big enough bite to eat this cricket. Okay, that was pretty bad. I guess these piranhas just don't really like insects, so that's why I'm gonna rapid fire the next 2 off. Here you can see I've got salmon and ground beef, which is a lot more smelly. They better like this. I started by waving the salmon around in the water until the piranhas noticed it, and once a few started to come up and nibble it, I accidentally dropped it into the sand where all the rest of the piranhas came swimming up. They huddled around it like a pack of hyenas and started to actually take little chunks out of the piece for them to eat. So I did the same thing with the ground beef and held it in the water. And this time the piranhas were even more interested, and instantly the entire pack huddled around it and took turns taking their bites out of it. I even noticed that the scraps of it had fallen onto the floor and were getting surrounded by the piranhas too. Well, the first of which being mealworms. And before feeding them the mealworms, if you remember, I had this pipe with the delicious juice inside, which I went and squirted inside to let the piranhas know it was feeding time. And as you could guess, they immediately started to go up and eat it, which kind of made a mess, but yeah, they were loving it. Oh my gosh, do you see that? They're all gathering around the little area where I just put it in. So now that they were ready, I dropped in the mealworms and one started to sink down. 2 of the piranhas noticed it and kind of took nibbles at it, but they were kind of just playing around with it more than they were actually eating it. And that same thing kept happening with most of mealworms, but that was until I saw this, where 3 of them took turns devouring it up, and yeah, this one actually got eaten. Okay, well, mealworms, they loved that so much, but that doesn't mean I gotta do my hand now. I said I would do it in the intro, so, you know, let's just do it. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Start the timer. Let's see how long I can keep it in here. Right away, nothing really happened because none of the piranhas were near my hand. But I knew this was kind of cheating, so I moved my hand closer, where right away, one sort of noticed me and actually started to chase my hand as I moved it away to avoid getting bit. So of course, I moved my hand back over to the pack, where some of them definitely got sort of close to biting me, but they were nowhere near as aggressive as they were towards the beef. You see, it's actually a common misconception that piranhas are evil towards humans like all the movies say. But to be honest, if a black widow walked into a Venus flytrap, what would happen? Would the trap close on top of the spider and eat it whole? Or would the black widow be able to use its venom to squeeze its way out? Well, I'm gonna be testing just that, along with tons of other insect types to see how strong Venus flytraps really are. I think I'm gonna buy both of these trap bundles. Then I'll be able to test the cheap and expensive traps to see which will be more effective at catching insects. But hey, I guess let me just check them out. And thankfully, only a couple days later, I got the traps delivered in the mail. After taking them out, I separated them into cheap and expensive. You can see the cheap Venus flytraps actually gave me quite a lot for just $10. And the traps themselves did look pretty healthy, big, and had that signature green and red color. Nice. However, over on the expensive side, you can see these are a bit different. They're not even packaged at all, and they look way more natural with moss all around the dirt. However, the main difference in these ones is that they're basically fully red. Like, they literally look like an apple. I've never seen Venus flytraps like that. But other than that, these traps mostly look the same, and hopefully at least one of them will be able to I put 30 minutes on the clock. Let's see what happens. Now, for the first little while, the cricket spent most of its time just walking on the dirt along the side of the glass to, of course, try and find an escape. Because let's be real, every cricket that sees me on this channel knows it's about to get eaten. He did not want to be in here. But after 5 minutes, he made his first approach to the traps. And one thing I should probably say is that the crickets are way more attracted to nectar, as it's a primary part in their diet. And that was shown because soon after, the cricket started to climb on the outside of the jaws of this trap. And right after that, I actually realized the cricket had stepped inside one of the traps, and it sort sort of looked like it was drinking nectar. But hello, Venus flytrap. There's a cricket standing inside of you right now. Are you gonna close? Yeah, the cricket really just stood there for 30 seconds. And when it was finished drinking the nectar, it started to walk out. And then finally the trap closed. Good job, bro. You were only a minute late at closing. I guess the cricket must have just not hit a trigger hair inside until the very end, which is why that happened. Anyways, nothing really new happened up until 15 minutes left on the clock, when I decided I wanted to add in 3 more crickets to make this more interesting. And while these guys all ran around the enclosure, I closely watched them to see if any would step inside any of the traps. And at 5 minutes left, this happened. You see, this cricket started to walk up the stem of this trap. Then he walked inside, realized it was a dead end, and tried to turn around. But it was too late because the trap closed on him, leaving him half stuck inside. So I literally just got some time-lapse footage of this guy to see if he'd be able to escape. And actually, while I was recording that, another cricket below also stepped into one of the traps. And he also got half of his body stuck inside. Thankfully, this cricket was able to use some of the stuff around him to pry himself out of the trap. However, I don't know if this guy will be able to do the same, since he's in the air and has nothing to grab onto. So I guess I'll just leave you here. Sorry, boy. Good luck. But anyways, that concludes the timer, and I would call this a half success for the cheap plants this time. But oh boy, am I excited to do this with the expensive traps. I didn't want to waste any time, so I put in 1 cricket. And this time, the cricket instantly walked towards the traps, like within a couple seconds. And he started to just play with his life, because he would just be walking through the plants like this, narrowly escaping the insane speed of these expensive Venus flytraps. Now, only a few minutes later, the cricket once again walked into a Venus flytrap. This time, he managed to dodge all the trigger hairs, and he put his mouth up to the lip of the plant to drink some nectar. But yeah, the second he started moving again, he wasn't so lucky, because the trap got an absolutely perfect close on him. And well, it only took 7 minutes for the expensive traps to fully capture a cricket. So once again, I'm gonna have to give the win to expensive. And I think I'm gonna rate that a 6 out of 10 for entertainment, because way more traps closed, which was fun to watch. But $10 traps first. Without wasting any time, I just put in a single fly and put 30 minutes on the clock. And if it gets caught before the timer's up, I'll add in some more flies. But instantly, as you can see, the fly started to climb along the glass to try and escape. Thankfully though, I've sealed this enclosure shut, and once the fly realized that, he ended up going back down to the floor. Now this is where things get interesting, because the fly landed on one of the pots with all of the Venus flytrap plants. What makes Venus flytraps so effective is actually their nectar. Just like normal flowers, these traps also produce nectar around this little green lip part of the plant. And basically what it's designed to do is lure hungry insects in, and while they're eating the plant, of course, it's shut. But I guess because these plants are so cheap, they didn't have very much of that nectar, because after standing around for like a minute, the fly just flew away without even stepping in any of the jaws. And from there on out, the fly basically drained the 30-minute timer down all the way to 3 minutes by just standing on the glass. However, eventually he decided to explore near the cheap Venus flytraps once again. And this time he got a little bit too close, because he stepped onto one of the traps and it could literally close on him right now. But the trap took a second too long, and the fly was able to fly out once it sensed the movement. You see, Venus flytraps have a very interesting system for how they detect prey and activate their jaws, which I'll go more in depth with when the trap actually traps an insect. For now, the fly just sort of walked around on the dirt for the rest of the timer, and well, the cheap trap was a fail. Thankfully, over on the right, we got the expensive one though, worth 10 times more, and this should have a much better result. So I put in a new fly, and let's get the timer started to see how quickly this guy gets caught. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this fly was a bit crazier than that first one, because for the first 3 minutes, he literally just flew around the entire enclosure like he was insane, just hitting all the glass trying to escape. But after he tired himself out, it was time for the Venus flytraps to do their thing. Instantly, you can tell the fly was way more drawn to the traps, as these expensive ones have a much stronger, more smelly nectar. And that was proven because right after, the fly walked in one of the traps. But quickly, it walked out right as the trap closed. Yeah, you can see in this instant replay, the trap may have missed the fly, but comparing the cheap and expensive traps, the expensive one closes way faster. And only a minute later, the fly was still chilling near the traps, and this time the nectar caught him off guard, because he walked onto the trap and put his face straight up to the lip of the plant where it was. And well, yeah, the video is paused right now, but you could probably tell what's about to happen. Just like that, the trap got a perfect close on the fly. You see, every single Venus flytrap has these super tiny trigger hairs inside of the jaws, and when a bug or something touches more than 2 of them, the trap starts to close. And these expensive ones are able to close so quickly that they catch most of prey that steps inside. You can see slight bits of movement inside over the next 20 minutes, but over the next few days, the trap is going to release a type of acid on the fly to digest it down and grow even stronger. Well, it only took 5 minutes for that to trap the fly, and the cheap one didn't catch any.
Died laying around. I'm pretty scared of black widows.
Anyways, I went and put one of the black widows inside the cheap trap enclosure and got 30 minutes on the clock. This is about to get get interesting. Let's see what happens. Right away, the Black Widow made her way towards the traps. Now, Black Widows are a lot slower than crickets and flies, so if this spider steps inside a trap, there's a high likelihood of it getting caught. And while nothing really happened for the first couple of minutes, eventually the spider started to walk along the tops of some of the traps. You can see Black Widows are very meticulous with their movement, and it would very carefully place its legs above the trap, making sure not to step inside. But even with that, the spider was playing a dangerous game, because all it needed was one bad step. Anyways, about 15 minutes later, I noticed that the spider had actually started to spin a little bit of silk, and maybe it was planning on building its web here. But unfortunately, she would never get the chance to finish, because she took a wrong turn into the Venus flytrap, and well, it closed straight on her. Almost perfectly. However, there was still some legs sticking out. To be honest, it didn't look good for the Black Widow, and besides a few leg twitches, it looked like the spider had just lost to the Venus flytrap. And if you thought that was cool, well, you gotta see the expensive Venus flytraps, because right after putting the Black Widow in, he instantly walked up to a Venus flytrap. And literally within the first 30 seconds of the timer, he stepped inside one of the traps, ducked down a little bit too much, and the trap closed on him within an instant. In my opinion, this one was even cooler to watch. And yeah, his legs were also just stuck sticking out of the sides of the trap. And well, hopefully that answers the question. Venus flytraps do beat Black Widows. I've gathered the craziest animal videos on the internet. Here they are. For our first crazy video, these guys were exploring a beach cave when this happened. Yeah, they got absolutely pummeled by a bajillion flies. Like, bro, what do you even do in that situation? You probably accidentally breathe in so many of those flies. Hey, I guess it's a little bit of extra protein. Okay, you are about to see a bear go above and beyond for a meal, because apparently there's a little worm bug thing in the soil under this tree. And when the bear saw it, he walked up to the tree and he did this. Yeah, bro literally started to knock down the tree until he literally did knock down the tree. And then he proceeded to dig through the rubble for this meal. Good job, bro. Hopefully that was worth the effort for the worm. Nice. Okay, someone has to explain this video in the comments to me, because it makes no sense. Obviously, you can see a bird in front of an iPad, but then this bird starts to use the iPad like a human can. And it starts swiping through the pictures, not randomly or anything. Like, actually, this bird knows what it's doing on the iPad. And eventually, he gets to a picture of a sandwich and literally zooms in on it. And he starts doing a happy dance, because apparently he loves sandwiches. What? I genuinely think this bird might be smarter than me. I'm not even gonna lie. Okay, I know the quality on this video is so trash, but it's literally because it's just so insane. Because if you look closely, this is a bee and this is a nail. And this bee is pulling the nail out of the wall. Yeah, and that's like the whole video. Like, is that not insane how a bee is pulling a nail out of the wall? This is either the strongest bee ever, or this is the weakest nail ever. Anyways, yeah, he pulled it out so you could go inside the hole. It's actually very smart. Okay, I feel like something could go terribly wrong in this video, because if you can't already tell, this is a real bear just sitting casually on a motorcycle with some humans. Yeah, but the craziest thing is, this bear starts to blow a horn. Nah, they trained this bear to be the car horn. Yeah, but I'm not sure why everyone here is just acting so casually. I mean, I guess this is Russia. I don't know if this is just a normal everyday thing there, but yeah, pretty crazy. Okay, so this may just look like a fun home video of people who found a dancing bug.
I think we should get music to go to it.
But oh, this is not a friendly bug. It's a toe biter, and trust me, I've made a video on getting these guys as a pet, and I know they are not friendly. So that's why I wasn't surprised when this happened. Okay, bro, I just thought that scream was too funny to not show. Let's see that one more time. This might be the most evil pet owner ever, because look at this.
Rocks, paper, scissors.
He taught his bird to say rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and then he put him in front of a mirror to infinitely play rock, paper, scissors with himself. So yeah, this bird is in a never-ending game of rock, paper, scissors. Is anyone gonna tell him he's playing against himself? Okay, I'm not sure what's up with bears acting like humans in this video, because this security camera caught a bear that walked up to this family's car, and for some reason it got up on its hind legs like a human, and using its arms, it just opened the car door casually and started rummaging through the car. I have no clue how it just knew to open the door like that, but yeah, apparently it just ate all the food inside and then just walked away. Animals are getting too smart. Now, I found some pretty cool videos of shark cage encounters like this one where the shark very angrily slams into the cage with its mouth open. To be honest, I don't know why people willingly go inside these cages. It looks pretty scary. But if you didn't know, the clips just get crazier and crazier as the video goes on. So obviously in this next clip, the shark that attacked the cage was even more aggressive. The shark grabbed onto the cage sideways and literally would not let go. Everyone was screaming inside, but don't worry, I think they're all safe because they were also laughing. Yeah, like I said, I don't think I would go inside of one of these cages willingly. Okay, take a listen to what this guy has to say real quick.
We've got our friendly neighborhood spider who's chilling over here. And the cockroach.
Yeah, I thought this video was so crazy because it shows why Australians actually love keeping these giant spiders in their house. Because in it, he catches a cockroach from the shower to demonstrate how good these spiders are at hunting. Yep, within like half a second, the spider pounced onto the cockroach and started to devour it. So basically, having these things in your house is like a built-in pest control. As long as you're fine with seeing giant spiders every now and then, which I definitely would not be okay with. Now you might be wondering, why on earth is a snake slithering on a power line? Well, apparently this snake saw some birds up on this power line, so somehow he got up onto here and is now absolutely risking his life to get a meal. I mean, I know some snakes are good climbers, but this has got to be extra risky considering there's no extra tree branches for him to grab onto if he falls. And yeah, I'm not sure what the snake was expecting because birds do actually have wings. Every time the snake got close, the birds kind of just flew away. Yeah, well, good luck getting down, bro, because I have no clue how you even got up here. Okay, and earlier I showed shark encounters from inside cages, but now we got shark encounters outside a cage, and this is where things could go seriously wrong. But thankfully, these were trained professionals under the water, so when the sharks started to show signs of aggression, they knew exactly what to do. You see, the sharks kept advancing towards the divers, and they had to actually keep pushing them away with their hands. And eventually, this shark went up to this diver and actually started to take bites at him. The diver quickly tried to use all of his strength to push back the shark, and thankfully after a bit, the shark actually did back off. Dang, that was a close call, but thankfully the diver stayed calm and did everything. I'll just let this guy explain this next clip.
Hey, y'all want to see the coolest bottle opener in the world?
Yeah, so basically this dude is holding a mouse in one hand and a glass bottle in the other. He then goes and puts the mouse on top of the bottle, holds the bottle up, and nature does its thing.
Break time!
Like, what the heck is going on? This is genuinely pure chaos. Whistles, screaming, car horns, and a billion bugs. Nah, bro, never put me in this situation. Okay, this video basically shows an orangutan from a zoo interacting with a dog. And you won't believe how locked in this dog gets at the orangutan. Because for some reason, the orangutan starts to try and annoy the dog by banging on the glass, which gets the dog so mad. Yeah, this dude looks like he wants blood. And the best part is when the orangutan starts to put a stick through the hole in the glass to tease the dog, but the dog doesn't even budge at this point because he's had enough of this monkey's rage bait. What an interesting interaction. I would be so mad because you can see he puts his GoPro camera up to this octopus to try and get some cool footage. But if we switch to the GoPro's view, we can see things quickly started to go wrong because the octopus started to climb out of its hole and actually put one of his tentacles onto the camera. But he didn't stop there because he then completely climbed onto the GoPro so the diver couldn't record anything anymore. Dang, I guess this octopus was camera shy. But thankfully the diver had a backup camera so we could see the struggle he went through to get this octopus off. Yeah, it took about like 2 minutes, but eventually he was successful and the octopus swam back off to the sea floor. And it's cool because you can see the octopus change its color as it swam away to camouflage. This video just shows another casual day in Australia.
So the owners had come in to have their morning shower and found the snake curled up.
So yeah, I guess living in Australia means you're okay sharing your house with insane animals like massive snakes. But I kind of feel like this snake was just trying to get clean and take a shower. Like, bro, why are you removing him from the shower? And then even worse, they kidnapped him into this big dark bag. Wow. That is just, that's evil. Now, this one's actually pretty crazy. You see, this dude is an ultra hummingbird enthusiast, but usually hummingbirds are impossible to get close to. So he built this super cool contraption, which he fills with nectar, straps to his head, and then the birds will fly extremely close to his face to drink it. And as long as he doesn't move at all, this just lets him watch and study his favorite birds for hours. Now, this is actually pretty wholesome. Everyone drop W's in the comments for the red hat. Okay, so we all know the story of the tortoise versus the hare. Well, some people actually recreated that in real life. Yeah, might sound stupid because you would just expect the hare to obviously win, but similar to the actual story, halfway through the hare stopped to take a break because he was so far in the lead, but the tortoise was still going with all of his might and overtook the hare and eventually made it to the finish line to win the race. Dang, who knew slow and steady actually really does win the race? Next clip documents something not many people have successfully been able to record, but basically it shows a caterpillar being born. Oh, but not only that, because it also shows that same caterpillar when it went into its chrysalis stage. And yeah, I just think it's insanely crazy to see the caterpillar crawl out of its old skin and eventually turn from this green shell into a fully grown butterfly, which then eventually is able to crawl out from the chrysalis and is able to restart the life cycle itself. This will probably be the most monkeys you ever see in one video. I'm not sure where this was recorded or why there's so many monkeys just running in the street, but yeah, there is. So the crazy part of this video is when fireworks randomly went off and of course spooked all the monkeys, causing them to go bananas. Yeah, there is a genuine stampede of monkeys. Are these guys just gonna live in the city now or what? I don't really know. Okay, if I was this diver, okay, this bird is about to sing a song and I want you guys to guess what song he's singing. Yeah, he's singing the If You're Happy and You Know It song. And the craziest part is when he taps the beak on the table at the part where you're supposed to clap your hands. Like, how do you even teach your bird to do that? I'm in awe with how smart some of these birds are. This video shows the most insane alien-looking creature on Earth. Yeah, this isn't fake. It's actually a super rare type of moth. But what makes this video even more crazy is usually these moths look like this, without those black hairy things coming out the back. But on special occasions, the males will inflate those things coming out of their body to look like this insane Goliath alien-looking creature. So yeah, this is super rare, and I hope I never see this. This is an alien worm. It is an extremely rare worm species that has the insane ability to shoot slime out of its mouth to glue its prey to the ground. Usually, you would never be able to find one of these. I had received the so-called alien worms.
Yo, please tell me I did not get scammed with these things.
But I took out the packing material and thankfully, these rare creatures were actually here.
Oh, it's the alien worms. Yo, I gotta get a closer look at these guys.
So I took the lids off of the containers that they were packed in and carefully moved one over to a damp paper towel. Instantly, we can see why people call them alien worms. They quite literally look like a mutant abomination between a centipede and an earthworm, and their skin is lined with thousands of these tiny weird bumps. But of course, the weirdest part of these worms was revealed when I tried to move it with my tweezers. Almost instantly, it turned around and spat its alien slime all over them. Yup, out of these two front arms, the alien worm is able to straight up cover my tweezers in this sticky glue substance that they actually mainly use to glue prey to the ground so they can easily go up to them to eat them whole. It's something straight out of an alien movie.
And of course, I don't just have one of these worms. I have 10 of them. This is gonna be so fun.
To get started, we need to recreate the alien worm's natural environment in this tank, which surprisingly is not actually some alien planet. These creatures actually live in the Central American rainforests. So I'm gonna be using some spray foam to make the background of this tank first. It's been a while since I've used it, but spray foam is the ultimate cheat code for rainforest tanks. Of course, because of the amazing ability to be able to stick stuff like dirt, sticks, and tons of other natural stuff to it to make it look, you know, natural. And once this background is looking pretty good, step 2 to making this tank is to do the floor, which is surprisingly important for alien worms to get right.
But thankfully, that's not too hard to do, because basically all we gotta do is just take some of these clay balls and pour it in like that. Then once that's filled up, we gotta get out some window screen.
If you're a terrarium expert, you'll probably know I'm making a drainage layer right now. By cutting out this window screen and putting it above the clay balls, it lets water drain down into it, but it will still let let us put our dirt right on top.
Now, you may have noticed that whenever I've had one of these alien worms out, they've been on a nice damp paper towel. That's because this species needs constant moisture or else they'll simply dry out and just die. So that means for this tank, we're gonna wanna add a ton of this nice purified water down into the drainage layer so it'll just stay nice and moist.
But I'm not just gonna pour water in the tank, that would be boring. Here on the TerraGreen channel, I gotta make things interesting.
That's why I've got a Spider-Man water shooter to add the water. Yes, sir, this thing shoots streams of water just like Spider-Man's web shooter shoots webs. And yeah, this might be kind of stupid, but it actually makes sense to do this because if you think about it, Spider-Man sticks his enemies to walls with webs. And well, the alien worms, they shoot goo onto their prey. So yeah, this definitely makes sense to do. Okay, and I think it's out of water. Okay, I'm just gonna pour the water in normally.
So yeah, after adding in the water, you can see this drainage layer now had a nice healthy amount of water in it. This moisture will help keep the dirt above nice and wet. And speaking of that dirt, it's now time to add that in. Lots of people sometimes like to make their complex mixes of tons of different types of dirts and mosses, but today I'll just be using this nice old bag of jungle dirt mix. This already has a good ratio of all the different types of natural stuff that makes up the dirt in the jungle where the alien worms actually live.
There we go. Look at this place. It's actually looking pretty dirty. Yeah, you see what I did there? Dirty, because there's dirt everywhere. Anyways, in my hand, I have a ton of insects. Don't ask me how I got these. But you see, I have something I want to do with these. Basically, I'm going to dig a little hole here along the side of the glass, and then I'm going to bury all of these insects right there, basically.
You see, obviously the alien worms eat insects, so I thought by burying these down here, there could be the slight chance that our alien worms would pick up on the scent and dig down to find them. To be honest, I don't even know if alien worms can dig, but hey, I guess someone has to find out somehow. Anyways, this is where the build starts to get fun, because now it's time to do the decorations.
Yep, the first decoration I want to make is a cave made out of rocks. But it's actually cool how you make it. Let me show you.
Yeah, you may just think that we could just stack a bunch of rocks on each other and call it a cave, but in reality, there's a lot more that goes into it. What I actually had to do is buy these wooden skewer things and essentially start poking them into the background to make these little platforms for me to place rocks on top of. This essentially lets me create an arch shape out of all the rocks here that the alien worms will be able to walk under. Then we basically glue all these together with some more spray foam. Yep, since it's black, it blends in pretty well. And once I covered most of the excess spray foam with some more rocks and dirt, boom, the cave is done. Alright, but this place is still looking pretty barren, so I figured it was time to finally start adding some color around with this nice moss. Not only is it super beautiful, but if we leave it alone for enough time, it'll completely grow over the whole tank in a bunch of greenery.
Okay, for the next decoration, you guys might think it's stupid, but I think it's genius. It's this stuff. And if you don't know what this is, it is modeling clay. But trust me, I have a good purpose for it.
Because if you take a look at it, you'll notice how it's super stringy and almost slimy looking when I pull it apart. Almost very similar to how the alien worm slime that they shoot looks like. So I thought it'd be pretty fitting to start just stretching this around parts of the background and other parts of the tank to basically make it look like there was a bunch of old dried up slime that these alien worms had shot around the tank. And of course, right now this stuff is still soft and could be bent in any way, but in a few hours the air will harden it up and make it non-toxic for our worms.
Some people might say this just like made it look uglier, and I would kind of honestly have to agree, but also it just kind of adds character, so I think I'm gonna keep it.
Alright, then I just quickly added in some plants because, you know, nature has plants, so I figured this would just help the place look more natural. And finally, yeah, I just had one more decoration.
Yes, sir, I got an alien statue to put inside. We'll put that right there.
Yeah, I mean, we literally have one of the most alien creatures that exists on all of Earth, so it only makes sense to have this in here, so I'll always know what's in the tank.
Now, before adding in our alien worms, there's one final thing we got to do. I've got 3 different life forms here of different animals I'm gonna add inside. Let me get them inside.
The first life form I'll be adding is very simple, but very effective. It's springtails. You almost certainly know them if you've seen my channel before, but in fact, right here, I bought over 3,000 of these little guys that I'm going to release into the tank. Since we're gonna be keeping it so unbelievably moist, mold might start growing in the tank, but springtails eat mold, so it solves that problem. But I don't only have these boring bluish colored springtails, I also decided to buy a batch of exotic yellow springtails, which costed a lot more, but they looked a bit cooler, so it was definitely worth it in my eyes.
Okay, but this next life life form is going to blow your mind. Check out what is inside this box.
Right in here, I've spent over $50 on a couple tiny little isopods. Isopods are a little type of bug that basically just keep your tanks clean, but I didn't buy just any regular old isopod. Say hello to the rubber ducky isopod. Yes, sir, these things cost like 100 times more than a regular one because if you just look at the front of its body, it literally is yellow and has an orange beak just like a rubber ducky. So yeah, people thought this was cool and decided to just sell them for an absolute insane price. And honestly, I think they're worth it because they're super cute and the fact that they keep our tank clean, I mean, that's just sick.
Well, hopefully you guys enjoy your time in the tank. And hopefully the alien worms don't decide to eat you guys. That would kind of be sad.
And now for our third and final life form. This one is extremely creepy because you see, recently my friend Flytrap Films uploaded a video about a weird alien mold that he discovered. In this video, he literally showed off how this mold is able to move on its own and literally eat decaying insects. And for some reason, he decided to send his alien mold to me.
And hey, we're keeping alien worms, so I figured we may as well try and keep this weird alien mold stuff too to see if it interacts with the worms in any weird way.
So I went ahead and opened the package Flytrap Films had sent me, and inside I was kind of confused by what I saw. He had packed a dish full of these tiny pieces of paper with little yellow specks on them. Now, I'm pretty sure these yellow specks are the slime molds. And because they grow at a rapid pace, it shouldn't be very long until ours come alive.
So I'm pretty sure to make this alien mold come alive, we literally just plop the specks of it on this little dish, just like that, and then we put this oat right on the other side so they'll have something to eat. All right, let's see if these start moving.
So yeah, I just left my camera recording and it only took about 30 minutes until one decided to wake up. Out of nowhere, this one at the bottom left started to pulsate its yellow body like crazy, and then it slowly started to grow off of the edge of the piece of paper it was on, and it started to walk towards the oat I had put inside. Yup, I have no clue how a literal mold is able to walk, let alone find food sources to swarm and eat, but after the mold got to eat a bit of this oat, it got enough energy to grow upwards towards the middle mold to merge with that and grow even stronger.
Oh my gosh, I just woke up, guys, and look at this alien mold, what it's doing right now. Not only has it moved so much, but it's going to the other alien molds to like eat them. Nah.
The alien slime mold kept merging around with more of the molds and eating more oats. And as I kept watching, unfortunately the dish kept getting all condensated and stuff, and basically blocked my view from getting all the interesting shots. But thankfully, we could still see some of the growth on the sides of the condensation, and you can see how active it was under there.
Oh my gosh, guys, look at this alien mold. It is so crazy how much it is able to just completely devour these oats.
And yeah, considering this thing started as a little tiny piece of mold and eventually got this big, it tells me that if it escapes into this tank, it might grow large enough to cover the entire thing.
So, of course, I'll be going ahead and putting this alien mold in the cave like that so it can continue growing. And of course, at the end of the video, I'll be seeing if the alien worms interact with it in any sort of weird way.
Anyways, this tank is now completely finished and ready for our alien worms so we can learn all about them.
All right, let's get these alien worms in. Now, if you remember, I was moving them with tweezers earlier, but that was causing them to spit their slime at me, which I don't want them to have to do in defense since it probably stresses them out. So instead, I'm gonna try and gather them up with this spoon so the squeezing doesn't spook them.
So I went ahead and gathered them all up and scooped them all into their brand new enclosure. It's pretty cute watching them all be bunched up into a ball like this together. Apparently, a group of these alien worms is called a cuddle, which I think is pretty fitting. But as you can see, it didn't take very long for a few of them to start venturing off on their own to explore. Out of all the worms I had gotten, most of them were pretty decently sized, like this one. But as you can see, a few of them, like these two, were still super small babies. Which I'm not gonna lie, these guys are super cute, and I wonder which kind of prey they even eat and if they can shoot slime too.
But yeah, I just think it's kind of stupid how each of these alien worms costed me $150. Even the babies, even though they're so much smaller. But yeah, that's just how rare alien worms are. Please subscribe. It was very expensive.
Anyways, now let's let these creatures hunt 3 different types of food so we can finally study how they use their insane slime to attack prey.
Sorry, crickets. Yeah, you guys are probably about to have a bad time.
So I once again found a decently sized alien worm and put the cricket right up to him. Now at first the worm just didn't really care and was letting the cricket walk all over him, but eventually I placed a cricket directly on the head of the alien worm, and that's when it finally started to show some interest. It all of a sudden raised its slime shooters up and shot a stream of slime onto the cricket, of course trying to stick it to the ground so it wouldn't be able to escape. Now crickets can be extremely fast and agile, so this glue is extremely necessary here so the worm can essentially strap it to the floor. And we can see it worked perfectly because when the cricket tried to start moving, well, it was completely stuck here, and the alien worm started to advance its creepy alien mouth up to the prey and started to consume it. Well, that was until like 2 minutes later when it decided it was bored and ran off into the moss, leaving the cricket stuck behind.
Yo, did the alien worm really just leave the cricket? Wait, nah, he came back. Bro, I thought he left. Wait, bro, I gotta get my camera back out. I didn't realize he was gonna come back.
Yeah, apparently the alien worm wasn't done eating, so it came back so it could fill up a bit more. Anyway, since these things apparently love eating crickets, I decided to go around and feed the rest of the alien worms with their own crickets. And yeah, once again, you can just see how they shoot out their alien goo and just absolutely devour the prey from head to toe, sucking all the juices out.
Well, these things are a lot bigger and juicier. They will certainly eat this.
So I went ahead and located one of the larger alien worms and brought out one of the wax worms. You can see how the wax worm is essentially the same size as our alien worm, so I was almost expecting nothing to happen here. That was until this, when the alien worm locked onto the prey and it shot its slimy glue out. Now, it didn't shoot out a crazy amount, but it was enough for it to start moving in and eating the prey. Alien worms are equipped with these crazy mouths that have little razors inside of them, so they can absolutely decimate whatever they need to eat. However, you can see how the waxworm was not cooperating at all and was squirming everywhere, making it impossible to eat. So the alien worm decided to shoot even more slime out, which let it get a way better grip, and yeah, it started to eat. Dang, that is cool.
I swear, this worm is literally a straight up assassin. How is it taking down a worm that's basically the same size of its body?
It's sort of brutal to watch, but it's also insanely interesting because there would be times like this when this yellow liquid would just start to leak out of the wax worm, which the alien worm would just instantly slurp up. You'd probably like to see why I like to call these things alien worms with how weird they are.
Yo, let's go. It was actually sick to watch these guys get eaten. But of course,
while I'm thinking the bigger alien worms certainly aren't gonna go for them, we'll see what the baby alien worms do since they're so much smaller. So I immediately dropped one of the flightless fruit flies right next to one of the smaller baby alien worms. And initially it seemed like the worm was maybe sort of interested in the fly, but it wasn't attacking it or anything. But that was until this. Did you see that? Let's rewind that and play that back in slow-mo, because if you look very closely, the worm actually locked onto the fly and shot its alien slime out. Yep, this string of white stuff is the slime that had actually managed to land on the fly, but yeah, because it's a baby, it barely shot any slime at all. But even though the slime had completely immobilized the fly, making it not be able to escape, for some reason our alien worm did not go up to it at all to eat it. And for the next few hours, each time I tried to get one of these baby alien worms to eat a fly, it straight up just didn't.
Okay, bro, I feel like if they were starving, they would eat these flies, but since these things are literally just so small, I feel like it's not even worth their effort to try and eat them. Oh guys, we cannot forget about the alien mold that I put in the cave. Check out how much it has grown. It's like taking up the whole dish.
But of course, I wanted to see if the alien worms would interact with this thing in any weird way, so I went ahead and brought some of them over. Now, of course, don't worry, despite this stuff being literally mold, it's not dangerous in any way to anything that's alive. And apparently our alien worms knew that, because this one decided it just wanted to start walking all along the side of this alien mold stuff.
Okay, bro, even though this alien mold is completely harmless, I just feel kind of weird about letting this guy crawl on this, but I mean, I guess it's fine. Dang, I wonder what it feels like to walk on that stuff. It's gotta feel weird.
But yeah, nothing monumental happened. It was just kind of cool to see the alien worms be sort of interested in this mold. I just found probably the most alien looking creature on Earth. It is literally a mutant creature with the mouth of a spider, the body of a scorpion, and claws that look like saws. And that's not even mentioning that it has some of the weirdest and creepiest behavior out of any animal ever. But despite how weird it is, apparently there's a website that will sell you one as a pet.
So yeah, you guys read the title. I'm gonna build a home for one of these things and actually keep it as a pet. $20, let's just get it. Oh boy.
And once I get it, I'll be judging if this alien creature is actually a good pet, and I'll even show it to my mom to get her reaction. Yeah, she's gonna love it. Anyways, after placing the order, they said they would ship it out in a few days. So in the meantime, to build the enclosure, I got out the tank and a couple big boxes of rocks. Yeah, I got a lot of rocks for this. This is because I needed them to start stacking around the outer part of the enclosure to try to make it look like a cave. You see, in the wild, tailless whip scorpions like to hide in between rocks because, I guess that's just where they feel safe. I don't really know. And to connect the rocks together, I originally tried to use my handy dandy hot glue gun and, you know, glue them, but the rocks were just too heavy and it kept collapsing over and over.
Oh my gosh, these stupid rocks keep falling.
Yeah, it wasn't really working, so instead I resorted to using some animal safe spray foam like always, and I covered it in a bunch of the big rocks and then a bunch of tiny little rocks, and I repeated that process on the left and right side of the enclosure.
And check it out. Hopefully you see the vision I'm going for. You know, there's a cave. We're making a cave. There's rocks on the walls. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool.
Now, this is a good start. However, you'd be dumb to think this is all I'm doing. I'm making this the best enclosure ever, so I can show off all the cool things the alien creature can do. It's gonna be so cool to watch. Anyways, the next step is to do the floor and decorations. And for the floor, we want it to be high quality and cheap, which is why I've got a bunch of these coconut fiber bricks, which are about to expand into a ton of dirt.
Seriously, these are so cool. You just add a big tub of water like this. Ooh, I'm getting that everywhere. And over time, it's gonna start to absorb that water and they're gonna expand and become a bunch of dirt, you know? And boom, look at that. It went from those boring bricks to this nice, moist dirt. Yeah, boy. Okay, maybe it's not that cool, but you know, it's dirt. It's pretty necessary.
To top off the floor, I mixed in some wood chips, dead leaves, some moss, and a couple rocks. Now, apparently the alien creature I'm getting has the ability to dig burrows out in this dirt with its claws, but I have no idea if mine's gonna do that, so hopefully it does. That would be pretty dang cool to watch. Now, to decorate the enclosure, I got these super thin sticks and started to glue them along the top. As you can see, they kind of look like tree roots, which adds this cool effect to the build that makes it look like there's trees growing above this cave. Nice. And of course, this wouldn't be a TerraGreen enclosure without some plants in here, which, as you can see, I've got a few of. And if you're wondering where I got them, yeah, I got them from Walmart, as always. I love Walmart so much. Please sponsor me. Please, please, please. As you can see, all the plants are pretty small since we don't want it to look too planty in this cave. So I planted them around and gave it a nice spray down with my water spraying thing. Now, these plants are actually super important because water droplets will gather on top of the leaves, which will easily allow the alien creature to sip them up and get hydrated, which, you know, is good. You know, we gotta make sure he can drink water and stuff. But while I was at Walmart getting the plants, I also found this absolutely majestical stone statue of an alien.
Hi, how are you?
Because, you know, we're putting a tailless whip scorpion inside of here, which is basically an alien. So yeah, I put that in to finish off the decorations.
Bruh, this guy's got a big forehead. That's a real shame. Thankfully, my forehead isn't that big.
Okay, the first 3 steps are all complete, but now it's time to get some technology in this enclosure to make it stand out. It's this super tiny Bluetooth speaker, which I buried in the dirt and covered with a leaf. With this, all I gotta do is connect it to my phone with Bluetooth, and I can play stuff like cave noises, which is pretty cool. You know, adds to the cave ambience.
But of course, I don't have to make this speaker just play cave noises. I can make it play literally anything, like the most annoying sound in the world, 1 hour. What is this sound? What? This is so stupid. Okay, it definitely wasn't lying. This is probably the most annoying sound in the world. I don't think the alien's gonna like this if I play this when he's in here. Okay, I get it. Can you just turn off by now? Turn off. Okay. Oh, okay. Please turn off. Please.
I had to fill up this container with a bunch of water, and after it was filled up, I put it back on top and finally twisted this knob right here.
And now check this out. Out of the end of this tube, a bunch of smoke, as you can see. Or fog, not smoke. It'd probably be bad if there's smoke coming out of it. Dang, that is actually cool. Like, it just comes out. I don't know how a machine just turns water into fog. That's pretty cool.
Anyways, this is actually very useful since as long as I turn this on about once a day, it will keep the humidity levels at a good spot for this enclosure. Also, it's just cool and adds to the cave ambience, you know? And speaking of cave ambience,
Let's go, baby.
so I got out a knife and opened the package up.
And oh, here it is. Because you can't really see anything. There's paper towels everywhere. Okay, hold on. Let me open this up.
I then very carefully removed the lid and paper towels to expose the alien creature.
Oh my gosh. This thing is gonna jump out at me. I have no idea. I'm just gonna close the glass though. Yeah, get that closed. Thank you very much.
Now at first it was completely still and actually I couldn't even tell if it was alive, but eventually I noticed signs of movement and then soon enough it fully started to climb out of its container. Very creepily, it slowly made its way over to a rock to go into hiding. But it wasn't just any rock. Of course, it was the rock with the alien statue on top.
Bruh.
Well. I told you guys this was an alien. Only an alien would go under the rock with an alien on top of it. But anyways, as I said at the start of the video, I'm gonna be pranking my mom with this thing. But before I do something like that, let's just see what it's capable of by trying to feed it something. I don't know. Let's just put some food in here though.
And after doing some research, it turns out that tailless whip scorpions absolutely love crickets. And thankfully, I always have a bag of crickets. And immediately after putting them in, they actually all looked very happy. These stupid crickets really thought that this was their new home, and they were just going around eating moss. Well, little did they know that this home actually belongs to my tailless whip scorpion, and unfortunately for one of the crickets, it made a wrong turn. It walked straight into the crevice of the rock that the alien creature was sitting inside. I thought for sure that that cricket was a goner, but miraculously, about a minute later, it walked out the rock unscathed. A little later, I saw the alien creature in a different spot hanging onto a wall. And just like before, a cricket walked straight up to it. And in fact, this cricket was extra stupid. He started to walk right in front of the alien's literal mouth.
Bruh.
But for some reason, the tailless whip scorpion was not eating it at all.
Okay, it's the next day and I figured out why the alien creature in here isn't eating. It's because this species is partly nocturnal, and as you can see, I just have massive studio lights shining super brightly on here. I guess he just doesn't want to eat in the light. So anyways, I want to let this guy just kind of adjust to the new home for about a week, and I guess I'll just come back then and we can do the rest of the stuff.
In the meantime, here's this cool video by Aquarimax Pets of the same species eating, if you're wondering what that looks like. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, let's get back to the content.
Okay, this is the absolute best part of the video because I'm gonna show my mom this alien creature and then I'm gonna prank her. And if you're wondering how I'm gonna prank her, just take a look at this thing. It's basically a one-on-one model of the tailless whip scorpion. And yeah, I'm basically just gonna throw it at her. She is not gonna be happy. But anyway, she's not home right now, so I guess I'll just cut to when she is and we'll show her this. Okay, you can come in. Alright, so I just got a new pet, and I just want to show you it. Okay. Now come stand over here, and you can try and tell what it is. I just want you to guess what kind of pet I got.
Oh my gosh, it looks super cool. Where's it at?
Can you see anything in there?
I'm trying, my heart is.
Okay, well it's hidden behind this rock, but...
Shut up, dude.
Do you know what it is?
No.
If you look very
Wait a
closely
second.
back under that rock, there's something right there.
Oh my god, dude, I'm scared.
For some reason, she couldn't really see it, so I gently woke it up with a spatula, and here's her reaction.
Oh my god, dude! What the heck is this?
You see that?
Seriously?
You
No,
see that?
no, yeah, that's alien and mindfulness. Oh
It's an alien in
my
there.
goodness.
Anyways, I have this fog machine, so we can put some fog on it, and that's pretty cool.
That's super cool, but seriously, where did that come from?
I don't know, the space or something?
Space.
Okay, anyways, that's all I gotta show you. Do you think it's cool?
No, dude, it looks so freaking weird. Yeah, it looks like evil.
Well, it's a good thing you'll never have to see it again. Okay, bye.
Now that she had seen it and left, I got the one-on-one model out and put it on my hand. This is gonna be really funny.
Okay, could you come back in here? I just forgot to show you one thing.
Oh my god, dude! Dude,
wanna say
Devin,
hello
no,
to it?
no, go away!
Yeah.
You're such a dork, that's not even real.
Yeah, it's just a piece of paper.
Oh my god.
What do you rate it out
Oh
of
my
10?
gosh. Whew, I don't know, I'm still confused.
Okay,
Devin.
bye.
Okay,